Yes team, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wicked day whenever and wherever you're watching this. So, a few days ago, I watched a YouTube video of Zach Tellander smashing his way through one of the most attractive CrossFit workouts that myself, a hybrid power athlete, could possibly wish for. Linda. Linda is one of the OG CrossFit workouts. It is attractive because it only consists of 3 different exercises. All of them are barbell movements. Deadlifts, which I enjoy, bench press, which I enjoy, and cleans, which I am sometimes able to do without snapping my connective tissues. As well as being attractive for those reasons, it's actually quite unique as far as CrossFit workouts go for one primary reason, in that the weights that you are lifting for each of the 3 different exercises are actually calculated as a percentage of your body weight. So most of the time in CrossFit workouts, especially these OG ones, that part of it is very much a test of absolute strength and there is a set weight. So it's quite nuanced and nice for it to be based around a percentage of your own body weight, possibly giving some of the smaller athletes a little bit more of a chance. So it is 1.5 times your body weight on the deadlift bar, your body weight exactly on the bench press bar, and then 0.75 times your body weight, so basically 3/4 of your body weight for the cleans. And the rep scheme is 10 down to 1. 10 deadlifts, 10 bench, 10 cleans. 9 deadlift, 9 bench, 9 cleans, all the way down to 1. I don't think Zach would be offended by me saying that at the end of this workout, he was very much in the bin. So this absolutely inspired me to do the same, but I wanted to put my own little spin on it, and I was thinking of a way to make it a little bit cheekier for myself by not just completing Linda in the normal way, but doing it twice. And not by doing everything 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and not by doing double the volume, so you do 2 rounds of 10 at each and then 2 rounds at 9 of each, blah, blah, blah. Not by doing 10 down to 1 and then 10 down to 1 again, but option C, which is no doubt the shittest one, which is going 10 down to 1, and then without a break, laddering all the way back up to 10 again. Take 312. Ah! Ha, ha! That's a 23.6 CrossFit Open workout.
What are we doing here? Talk us through it.
Talk you through it.
Yeah.
So this is a leg, and this is a foam roller.
Oh.
So I'm going to foam roller my leg. Any questions, put them down in the comment section below.
What is the purpose of this leg on the foam roller?
The purpose is, as I have 2 very similar movements coming up in double Linda, keep it clean.
Delinda.
That is funnier than it should be. In the form of deadlifts and power cleans. Lower body's working a lot and it's spending a lot of time hinging. And I think in terms of the power clean specifically, the touch and go on the deadlift is going to be putting a lot of strain through the system with the eccentric load when everything kind of hits the ground. And with the cleans, the eccentric load of catching the bar, even if you're only in like a, quarter squat position when you catch it, even if you kind of muscle clean it up with a slight bend at the knees and the hips, that's going to put a lot of pressure on as well. So just making sure that everything is nice and kind of loose and mobile and supple in the lower body before a workout like this is paramount. So again, for me, warm-ups, camera person smiling and that makes me anxious. The warm-ups have 3 different kind of objectives or 3 different stages for me. The first bit is like a general warming phase, so a couple of minutes on a piece of low impact erg kit. The second piece is this kind of foam rolling and a bit of mobility and stretching. And then the third section of a warm-up is some innovation work with some slightly snappier, quicker, more dynamic movements to kind of innovate and prime and get you ready in the form of dynamic lunges and sprinting high knees and stuff. And regardless of the workout that you're doing, those 3 stages of the warm-up should hopefully keep you injury-free and nice and athletic. You're welcome. Okay, so the weights we have, we've got 125 on deadlift. I'm going to do everything I can and basically make it even kind of save a few inches and fractions of a second by just kind of making sure the kit's all nice and close. So 125 kilos in the deadlift. We've got 62.5 on the cleans, which are, I didn't know whether or not they're supposed to be squat cleans or power cleans, but I checked a couple of things online and they basically gave technical advice for a power clean. So as long as it's kind of locked out at the top, I think that should be fine. So power clean is definitely going to be for me. And then we have my body weight exactly, or as close to, which is 82.5 on the bench. And a quick little hack for you, especially on a slippery leather bench like this, a couple of resistance bands on. When you're digging your feet into the ground and kind of really driving, instead of being pushed back, even in the setup position, the bands just kind of provide enough friction against you, whether that's your skin or your clothes or whatever, to kind of make sure you don't shift around a little bit. So 10 down to 1, and then 1 back up to 10. So double Linda ladder, as we shall now call it forever. I'm intrigued to see how I get on with this. I think the first section is going to take about a third of the time, and then the second half will take 2/3, based on both fatigue and the fact that going from 1 to 10, as well as again being pre-fatigued from that initial kind of like 10 down to 1, the second half you're going to be battered. But that ascending ladder is also just going to be so much spicier by the fact that every set that you get more tired, the next set that you're doing is 1 extra rep. So I'd like to do the 10 down to 1 pretty much every round, obviously with kind of the walking breaks between, pretty much unbroken each time I attempt to do a set. But the 1 back up to 10, I'm not too sure, especially on bench. I don't think I'll be doing that. So, little nervous old man wee in a second, and then we shall crack on.
You're not old yet.
Thank you.
Motivational speech.
Am I going to give you a motivational speech?
Yeah.
In a world full of constantly varied stimulus and unknowns, always tape your Achilles. Marcus Aurelius. So, 1 top is off. Chalk bucket is here. This is definitely going to be necessary with 110 deadlifts. Fucking hell, that many doing 110 deadlifts and 110 cleans. So, we will be putting the music on in a second, but obviously we can't now because it'll get done for copyright. So, for you lovely people, enjoy the show in 3, 2, 1. And we're off, team. And to be honest, as much as I was gobbing off beforehand, both to the camera and I think in an attempt to convince myself, I don't actually know how much of a plan you can really have for something that is as completely unknown as this. The only primary sponsoring directive you can have is the same as with any other mixed modality unknown workout. Just don't bin yourself too early. Especially when the reps are a little bit higher at the beginning, so before you get in too much of a flow with anything, going to complete failure on any one of the moves in something like this is just going to bloody write you off straight away. Try and stay anywhere between 2 and 4 reps shy of complete failure, and that might mean that you only need 10 to 15 seconds recovery before you then move on to the next station. But if you squeeze out 3 more reps, and that does, as an example, take you to complete failure, you are not going to only need 15 seconds. You might need between 60 and 2 minutes. That's how dangerous going to complete failure can be. In a mixed modality workout, we are hoping the transitions from one station to the next are fairly rapid. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say straight off the bat in this workout, before we go any further, is I still now, 2 days after this workout was filmed, have no idea whether or not they were supposed to be power cleans or squat cleans. I found one thing online that explicitly said they are supposed to be squat cleans, but about 3 or 4 things that alluded to the fact that they actually should be power cleans. So any Linda aficionados, please put it down in the comment section below. But either way, A, because power cleans are kind of what I wanted to be doing, and B, because that was what more of the copy I found on the internet said, such as the stuff both here and here, power cleans are what I went for. So enough of that crap, back to the workout. Another tip or another tactic that I tried to employ pretty much from the start line in this workout was to make sure that I'm breathing in line and synchronized with the movement at hand. So how much I'm bracing my core and my breathing rhythm through a slightly braced core is going to be very different for deadlifts than it is for bench press. But as you start to cycle through the reps of any of these movements, attempting to keep your breathing synchronized and in line with the movement that you are performing is just going to make sure that everything flows nicely together, as opposed to kind of catching it off center. And 1 second you feel fine, and then out of nowhere the next you've just kind of caught it off guard. You've just kind of caught yourself off guard and you've gassed yourself out. Allow yourself to breathe deeply and remain calm and under control during those transitions. Big deep breaths and keeping yourself calm whilst moving from one station to the next is absolutely going to pay dividends as the workout goes on. Okay, so at this stage, usually around 7s, because I do 10 to 1s fairly regularly, you've done your set of 10s, you've done your set of 9s, you've done your set of 8s, and you're kind of halfway through 7s, even though you feel as though you're only 3.5 rounds in, because of the descending ladder in regards to the rep range, you're actually over halfway in terms of the total volume done for this workout, or for me, for the first half. And I have to say at this stage, I was actually feeling a hell of a lot better than I was expecting. So what I'd usually be doing is maintaining that pace for the next few rounds until I'd completed the 7s, the 6s and the 5s. And then the 4, 3, 2, 1, so from 4s down below, I'd start speeding it up. Couple of reasons. Number one, obviously you're closer to the finish line. And number two, in this rep range, I'm lucky, I'm kind of blessed that I'm fairly elastic and dynamic. That is my strength. I'm absolutely shit at depth as an example, but the benefit of being a naturally elastic athlete is that you can really take advantage of stretch reflex. Even on the deadlifts, the touch and go, I've always been able to recycle a certain amount of that energy. And with bench, drop the bar down, bouncing off the chest, and I get a lot of stretch reflex on the way up. So all I have to do really at 82.5 is just finish the movement by locking out. I'm obviously not able to speed up from round 4 onwards in this one though, because I know that once I get all the way down to 1, I'm only halfway there, and I've got to climb all the way back up to the top of that fucking mountain again. Okay, so in and amongst all the gumph I'm spitting at you now, if there's going to be one thing that I'm going to emphasize assertively enough for you to remember when you're doing a workout like this, it's going to be this. Take a little bit longer on the transitions because the benefit is just so heavily compounded up. What I'm saying here is that an extra 5 to 8 seconds moving from deadlift to bench, or from bench to cleans, or from cleans back to deadlifts might sound like a lot, but just taking those extra 2 breaths might just be enough for you to recover that extra little bit, for you to then complete the next round unbroken. This is the primary goal, and I said this before I started, is to do as many of the sets as possible unbroken. Breaking one of the sets up, as well as being more time consuming, means you've got all the other paraphernalia around it that you then have to double up. Foot placement, grip, bracing, kind of pulling your shoulders back if it's for the dead, whatever it is, the breathing, the bracing, the placing any part of your body, hands on the bar, all of it takes time. So for each set, if you only have to do that once, that is definitely going to pay dividends as you go through, which means an extra 5 to 8 seconds if you are feeling a little bit gassed and you're not sure if you could do the next set unbroken, is 100% a worthy investment to make. And now I'm starting to get into the danger territory. I'm starting to get to the stage that I was most scared of before I started this workout, which is the final kind of third of section 2 going back up the ladder. Doing my sets of 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the way back up. As well as having an incredible amount of accumulative fatigue in my system now. My stretch reflex is starting to go. I'm starting to get gassed. Muscular system, cardiovascular system, central nervous system are all starting to suffer. I've had more time under tension, depleted a hell of a lot of fuel. All of this stuff compounded means that going into every single set, having to do more than I just did in the set before, is starting to get a little bit sketchy. But again, dare I say, at this stage, moving into the sets of 7 and even 8, things are actually starting to feel. Set 9 was not too shabby, and then I get a little bit dumb. Having finished my set of 9 power cleans, I then put the bar down and I move very quickly into my set of 10 deadlifts. I know that I've only got 30 reps of the whole workout left to do, which is the last set of 10 on all of them. So I go into this set of 10 deadlifts slightly less recovered than I'd been for any set before, and I get to about rep 7, and the last 3 reps, my vision starts to go a little bit wonky. I manage to get it done. I somehow waddle and find myself to the bench. I lie down, and as you can see with this one, guys, this is the only set of the entire workout of double Linda that I had to break into 2. But I think it was probably a good thing that I did break it into 2, because I genuinely don't think it would have mattered how long I would have rested. I don't know whether or not I would have got 10 reps unbroken unless I waited for a full kind of 2-3 minutes. So I'm happy that I did it this way, to just bash out as many reps as I could, rack the bar, couple of big deep breaths, and then just finish it off. Moving on to the 10 power cleans to finish the whole thing off. And you can see by the way I'm looking here, I'm embodying what I believe should be the exact combination of different emotions after a workout like this. A unique alchemy of exhaustion and pride.
That sucked. Before I started, it's the hardest thing I've done in a while, like not even lungs burning, but just whole body signals telling me to stop. Before I started, I said I like to do it in kind of under 40 minutes, and as it was going, I was like, maybe I can get under 35, and I was like, maybe I can get under 32, and that's why I bashed out the last 10, and I got 32.01.
Yay!
So not quite sub, but I'm bloody happy with that. I mean, basically 8 minutes quicker than I thought, so it was about 16 minutes per Linda, but I definitely could have gone faster on the first one. I do 10 to 1s quite a lot. It's a nice little metabolic bodybuilding piece, because I knew those last 3 rounds on the way back up, 8, 9 and 10 would be spicy. And whether it's the fact that I said that in my head or not, but the second I got through like the 8 deadlifts and went over to the bench, I was like, fucking hell, this is horrendous. 8s were survivable, 9s were spicy, and then as soon as I put down the 10th deadlift on the final round, even though I only had 10 bench and 10 cleans to do, I was like, God, my body was dead. So I split the last bench up into 2 little sets, or 3, because I no-repped myself. That's integrity right there. Hope you did enjoy that, guys. If you did, please do smash that like button. I will be very happy. So will G, won't you, G?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you have not yet done so, please make sure you subscribe. Lots of awesome content coming up. Press that notification bell to make sure you are informed as to when. And as always, beautiful people, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome. And I'll see you in the next video.